Yes, yes.
So this problem is actually, so I have written all this source of the problem. So I will give you also source of problem. So this problem is actually example 2.2 from the 𝐷𝐍-Griffith. I will explain problem, and it was came into this year examination also for the 5 marks question in the June 2021 June examination. Okay, and this is I think this is PYQ question number 14 and part C. So it's a very wonderful question, and it's a really that you can just judge that which level of calculation can we come into the examination. So we have to prepare all this thing, and so let me explain the question in a very briefly, and then we will go step by step to going for all this calculation. Okay, so this problem is something like it is given that so first I will go for the 𝐷𝐍-Griffith problem, then I will just after one particular line we can go for this particular PYQ 2021. Okay, so in this problem of example 2.2, the it is given the system is that particle is confined into one dimensional box. So if it is confined into one dimensional box of potential Vx is equal to 0 and x is between 0 to a and infinity otherwise. So if it is given, that means we know all the inherent property of this particular potential. We know the eigenvalue and the eigenstate of a system. So obviously these things are known to us. So I can write in a very nice manner. So H phi n is equal to En phi n, and phi n is nothing but that value is equal to 2 upon a sine n pi x upon a, and En is nothing but n square E naught, where E naught can be given by pi square ℏ square upon 2 ma square. So these things we have already known this particular thing. It is given that the wave function psi x is all about a x a minus x. I think this will be a minus x. Yes, ax a minus x, and this will be between x is between 0 to a and 0 otherwise. So this is our psi x is given. So in this particular problem of example 2.2, so I will write the first is example 2.2, then I will also go for what will be the PYQ, because both are interconnected to this one. So example 2.2.2, it is given that we have, and this is given at t is equal to 0. So this is given at t is equal to 0. What we have to do? We have to find the expression at psi at x time t is equal to t. So this is our first question. And in the examination of PYQ 2021, it is given that if we are going to calculate mod psi square dx, obviously between 0 to a, that is proportional to some quantum number, and you have this 4 option. So I am just reframing the question. So we have to prove that mod psi square dx is proportional to 1 upon 2n minus 1 whole 6 summation over n, and where n is equal to 1, 2, 3, and so on. So this is in the PYQ, and this thing is given into your 𝐷𝐍-Griffith 2.2. So we will solve it completely. So first we will go for it, and then we will also go for it, because concept is exactly same. And we have to also use the formula. So what is the main formula we have to use? So I am just using here this space to write the formula. So the formula is given as that, and it is given into examination, that 0 to a t sine t is given as minus a cos a plus sine a. This is our first formula, and second formula we have to use 0 to a t square sine t is given as minus 2 minus a square minus 2, and it is cos, that is cos a plus 2a sin a. So we can use this space throughout. Okay. So this is the formula we have to use, because if in the examination, if they will not give this formula, it will take at least 1 hour to solve this thing. So they have just given you formula, so you have to just manipulate it. But I will suggest you just try to prove this formula with yourself at least once, so that you can remember also this thing. But obviously, if this type of tough calculation will be there, then surely they will give the formula. So don't worry about this thing. Okay. Now let's come to the real picture. So this is given at psi at x is equal to 0 and a is normalization constant. So what we have to do, we have to write psi t. So how you will go for this particular thing? What we have to do, we have to just write, we can write psi xt only in this form, that is Cn phi n e to the power minus I En t upon h cat. We know phi n, we know En. The whole challenge is that how we are getting this particular value of Cn, and where n can be all possible quantum number. It is not necessary that 1, 2, 3 and every quantum number can be there. It will depends on the calculation that what are the possible value of Cn. So the most important challenge is that how we are going to calculate this particular Cn. So this is the thing, and here all this calculation will come into picture. So before going to calculating this Cn, we will make sure ourselves that this psi x0 should be normalized. So first we have to do the normalization condition. So when we will go for normalization condition, mod psi square dx, and obviously from 0 to a must be equal to 1, and you have this particular thing mod a square, and this particular integration is 0 to a x square a minus x whole square dx must be equal to 1. You can do this integration with yourself. I have done with myself, that is 30 upon a to the power 5. Some wave function which is mainly given into Griffith, you have to remember all this thing if you want to do the calculation very fast into your examination. Okay. So obviously this is very famous wave function. So why you can use this particular normalization constant in a very nice way. So obviously we have already used this concept, we have know all this thing. So I will just remove all this thing and I will do the real calculation. Up to that, I think everybody is comfortable.
Yes,
है ना?
sir.
हाँ बताओ.
Sir, PYQ में क्या क्वेश्चन था?
PYQ का क्वेश्चन मैं बाद में डिस्कस करता हूं, पहले मैं psi xt निकालता हूं. ठीक है?
ठीक है.
Okay. So let me remove all this thing. So I will keep only these two formula because these are very important, and then we can solve it step by step. And if this type of problem will come, then please have a patience and do each and everything step by step. Okay. There is not any shortcut to do this thing. Okay. So there is not any shortcut. So yes, we have psi x0 nothing but root under 30 upon a5 x a minus x. Obviously this is between 0 to a. So what is value of Cn? So Cn is nothing, but we all know that will be 0 to a phi n star psi x0 dx. This is our value of Cn. Everybody know this thing, है ना? So we have to do this integration. That's it. Once we will do this integration, everything is cakewalk. But doing this integration is really tough. And you can imagine that even if they have given this particular formula, then after it will take a lot of time. But if they will not give you formula, then obviously it will be very long problem. But I will suggest you try to give your time and check your patience after by the deriving this formula. Okay, just try to do this thing. Okay, anyway, so what is this Cn? So this Cn is nothing but 0 to a root under 2 upon a sine n pi x upon a, and this psi x0 is x a minus x, and sorry, I will have to take the normalization also, 30 upon a5 x a minus x dx. So we have to do this integration. So when we are going to do this integration, then obviously I will keep this number from outside this integration. Then this Cn is equivalent to, we have root under 2 upon a and root under 30 upon a5, and we can take it in a bracket. The first integration is all about 0 to a x sine n pi x upon a, and the second integration is minus integration 0 to a x square sine n pi x upon a. Obviously dx will be there. Okay, so this is the thing. I think everything is there, or kuch cut bhi raha hai. It is very difficult to use one board, especially in quantum mechanics. Okay. Anyway, so I think everything is appeared to you, hai na? So now
Yes,
we have to do this integration, and fortunately in the examination they have given you this formula. So you have to only do the substitution. That's it. But doing substitution and after then doing calculation is also a tedious task. Let us try to go for it. So so I am just writing this one is my first integration and this one is my second integration. Otherwise it is very difficult to do this. So what is my first integration? My first integration I1 is 0 to a will be here. That is x sine n pi x upon a dx. What we will do here, we will just put a, so we have to use this formula. So I have to put it each and everything into this form. So what will happen? I will put n pi x upon a is equal to t, and then we have x is equal to a upon n pi t, and dx is equal to a upon n pi dt. And if x is equal to 0, t is equal to 0. If x is equal to a, t is equal to n pi. So what will happen? This integration will change to a to 0 to n pi, and you have, if its power is 1, then 1 will be for dx and 1 will be for this. So what will be come outside this integration? A is this number, then you have a square upon n pi will come outside, and here it will be t sine t dt. N pi square, exactly. That is n pi square will be there. Okay, so that value is equal to, now you can see we have written this particular integration in this form, isn't it? So challenge is that how you are making it dimensionless, है ना? तो t जो है ये हमारा क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पर dimensionless हो जाएगा. Are you getting my point? So you have to use this thing. So what will happen? This value is a cube upon n square pi square. Now put it in a formula. So in place of a we have to put n pi. So that value is equal to minus n pi cos n pi plus sin n pi. And what will be sin n pi? That will be always 0 because n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So my first integration I1 is equal to minus a cube upon n pi cos n pi. Yes, everyone is comfortable?
N pi square.
Not n pi square. This n pi and n pi is cancel out. Okay. So each and every point you have to be very much clear. Okay. हर एक पॉइंट पर बहुत ही ज्यादा क्लियर रहना पड़ेगा इस क्वेश्चन के लिए. So obviously I can use this space to write my I1. So what is my I1? I1 is nothing. That is minus a cube upon n pi cos n pi. Okay. So this is my first integration. What is my second integration? The second integration I have to, again, I will put all this thing here. So I will just remove this particular thing. The I2A is not here. Okay. What is I2? I2 is, this is x square. So do it very fast. So what will we come outside? So the outside it will come a upon n pi 2 whole cube, because here is a square, 1 is for the dx. And this will be again 0 to n pi, and this is t square sine t dt. Now we have to again put it into this formula. So if you are putting it each and everything into this formula, be very much conscious, because this -2 is separate. So you have nothing to put -2 for here. So -2 is always there. So this will be a upon n pi whole cube, and this value is equal to -2 minus n square pi square -2, and this is cos n pi plus 2n pi and sine n pi, isn't it? And again, what will be sine n pi? That will be 0. So this term will be gone. So what we have? We have -2 a cube n cube pi cube. This is my first term. And second term is equal to minus a cube n pi and cos n pi, isn't it? This thing is, this cos will multiply with this, and this minus plus, and this value is equal to what? 2 cos n pi with multiplication of this thing. आप देखना मैं कहीं गलत तो नहीं कर रहा हूं. a cube n cube pi cube, and this value is equal to cos n pi, and 2 will be also there, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
सही है ये? So what is my I2? I2 is nothing. So I2 is nothing. We have -2a cube upon n cube pi cube minus a cube n pi cos n pi plus 2a cube n cube pi cube cos n pi. So we have done this integration. Now the next part will come here. Okay. So now I can remove all this thing. So up to that, everyone is comfortable. So let us use this space again to doing the calculation. Now you can see in the examination pressure, if you will not enjoy the calculation, it is next to impossible that you will do this in this problem, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Anna? So now we can calculate the value of Cn. The Cn is nothing but root under 2a, root under 30 upon a5. This thing is Cn. And we will just put I1 minus I2. So what is my I1? Minus a cube, and this value is equal to cos n pi by n pi, or if even we can do it here only. यहाँ भी कर सकते हैं ना, I1 minus I2 के लिए, isn't it? So this value is equal to plus, and this value is equal to plus, and this value is equal to what? Minus, isn't it? अगर I1 minus I1 करूंगा तो यही तो होगा ना? If I am calculating I1 minus I2, then what will happen? This value will plus, this value will plus, and this value will minus. So unnecessary I am using the space there. So what will happen? This term and this term is cancel out, isn't it?
Yes.
है ना? और हमारा क्या हो जाएगा? 2a cube n cube pi cube we can take common. Yes?
Yes, sir.
है ना? So what we have? We have basically, so we have actually, so if we are going to calculate I1 minus I2, so then this value is, this is something called Cn is equal to root under 2 upon a, root under 30 upon a5, and this value 2a cube upon n cube pi cube I can take common. And what is this value?
1
That
minus
value
1.
is
1 minus cosine.
No, here is that is 1 minus cos n pi. 1 minus cos n pi. And now you can see this value will only survive for n is odd, isn't it? Otherwise, this value is
Yes, sir.
0. Yes. So this
Yes.
Cn is nothing but you have root under 2 upon a, root under 30 upon a5, and this value is equal to 1 minus, and this will be minus 1 for n is odd, otherwise it will be 1. So that value is 4 a cube n cube pi cube for n is equal to 1, 3, 5 and so on, and that value is 0 for n is equal to 2, 4, 6 and so on, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And now what you can see this a is cancel out, है ना? This a will cancel out, a cube will, because it should be number. ये हमेशा आपको दिमाग में रखना है कि this should be always a number, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what will be this value? And if you want, you can take this 2, and this value is equal to root 2 and root 15 into root 2 into 4 upon n cube pi cube. So we can write root 15 into 2 upon n cube pi cube, sorry, n pi whole cube, isn't it?
Yes.
है ना, 2 को इसके साथ लेके चले गए तो क्यूब में आ गया दोनों, है ना? So this will be, and what is value of n? N is equal to 1, 3, 5 and so on. So now we have done the calculation. Now the concept part will be there. So what I can do, I can write my psi x0. So that is your psi x0 as, we can take the all other thing as constant. So root under 15 and 2 upon pi whole cube outside and summation over n 1 upon n cube, and this value is equal to phi n, isn't it? And what is value of n? 1, 3, 5 and so on. Odd value of n is there. So this is my psi x0. And in the Griffith problem, they have asked to write the expression of psi xt. So what is expression of psi xt? The psi xt is nothing but root under 15 2 upon pi whole cube, and this value is equal to n is equal to 1, 3, 5 1 upon n cube, and this is phi n e to the power minus I n square E naught t upon h cut. Yes. So this is your psi xt. So this problem was given into 2.2 example of Griffith. The next part is given. Next part will ask into your examination. So in the examination, they have given you that psi x0 is something ax a minus x if your x is between 0 to a and 0 otherwise, and this is your PYQ, previous year question 2021. So I am discussing 2021 June exam, okay? And this is from the part A. So this is your given. So they have asked you what will be mod psi square dx 0 to a is proportional to, you have different option, 1 upon 2n minus 1 cube, 2n minus 1 6. So this thing is there, okay? So here I am just reframing the question. We have to prove that this is 2n minus 1 whole 6 summation over n, and now n can be written as 1, 2, 3 and so on. So yes, we can easily prove it. Prove कर सकते हैं ना? How we can prove it? So यहाँ तक clear है ना?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So obviously this is my psi x0. So if this is my psi x0, what will happen if we are going to calculate 0 to a psi mod psi x0 mod square dx? What will happen? Which term will we survive? Only nth term will be survive. All other will be orthogonal to each other because phi n and phi m will be orthogonal to each other, isn't it? You have
sir.
𝐶𝐾𝑡 and 𝐶𝐵RA, so you have orthogonal to each other. So what you have? You have 15 2 by pi to the power 6, and this number will be n is equal to 1, 3, 5, and this will be n to the power 6, isn't it? And this can be also written as 15 2 upon pi to the power 6 summation over n, and this can be written at 2n minus 1 to the power 6, and now n can be 1, 2, 3, isn't it? ऐसे लिख सकते हैं ना? This can be written something like this. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So here we can easily see that mod psi square is proportional to summation over n, and that is 2n minus 1 to the power 6. So this was the question in your this year examination. This is a really wonderful question. It will just test your patience. And obviously in this examination, the level of question was so beautiful that if you will go for one question, you have to complete it because each and every question have same level of toughness. So I try to prepare it. So obviously, maybe in the next examination, they will just ask you what will be psi t. So we have prepared all these things. So this is a wonderful example, wonderful problem for a quantum mechanics, and you can see how good mathematics we can use into this particular quantum mechanical thing. So if you have any doubt, you can just ask me.